We got Scott Anderson here with his RB-7, and Scott, first tell us where you're from and how you got started playing the banjo, and a little about yourself, and a little about this banjo, what year it was made, and so forth.
Okay. I'm from Palatka, Florida originally. I live in Gainesville, Florida now. I've been there for 30 years or so. And I've been playing since I was 13 years old, so I started back, I grew up hearing banjo in the house. Some of the first stuff I remember was on Beverly Hillbillies, Earl playing the theme song, and occasionally on the show, and then and my dad played records. He had records of Bill Monroe and the Stanley Brothers and Flatt and Scruggs and all of that. Back then, Foggy Mountain Breakdown was played on the radio after the Bonnie and Clyde movie came out. I remember hearing that, and then dueling banjos, of course. So I sort of grew up hearing it a lot, and by the time I was 13, decided I wanted to try to learn to play it myself. So I asked for a banjo for my birthday, and I got a pretty terrible old harmony banjo, I think, that I started learning on, and then got a little better one that my aunt had, an old Gresh banjo. I finally figured out what it was. It didn't have a name on it, but before I got a decent banjo, I graduated up to a gold star and then a stelling, and sort of kept graduating up over the years. Probably still trying to do that sometimes, but anyway. But this one here is a 1937 TB-7 is what it started out as. It's got a 5-string neck on it now, built by Randy Wood. And the story that I heard on this banjo, it belonged as a tenor to a guy up in New York State who was he was really a jazz guitar player, but he played banjo on some things occasionally. And I think he was the original owner, from what I understand, and had it for quite a few years until he passed away. I think, I'm not sure exactly how long, could have been 8 or 10 years ago.
Probably a little louder.
Okay. So it could have been 8 or 10 years ago that he passed away, and the banjo got out into circulation. Somebody found out about it. The first owner that I knew was Jonathan Fender. Apparently had it, and then decided to sell it, and so I bought it from Nome. Was sort of helping broker that sale. I bought it from Nome a couple years ago. It's a good sounding banjo. It's got, I've been tweaking the setup off and on, and it's got a little bit more, I don't know, it's a little warmer maybe than sometimes you think of a top tension being. I'm liking it a lot. I'm trying to, just get into, it's a lot different. The neck especially is different. I'm used to such a wider neck on all my other banjos, so I get tangled up sometimes on this one.
It's got a marvelous tone.
Yeah, it really does.
And you've obviously found the sweet spot. I like where your hand is playing.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's got, it's bright and loud. It's got some sweetness to it.
Would you like to play one of these others? I'll put this thing on pause and we can check the tuning on.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Not
Let's
turn
see.
that down.